Hello, who am I or who are you to condemn other people? I think this is a crucial statement of this gospel of today, but there are much more things which I want to tell about. I think that in our liberated society, we are much less severe about this cheating on another person in terms of sexual relationships, about fidelity within the marriage. And today, this is not an illegal thing. It's still a religious sin, but it is not a legal issue anymore. But for this period of time, this was something which was so fundamental for their view of the society. Why? Because I think that this whole religion was based on this family, of this tradition of passing religious habits, religious truths and religious wisdom, and so on, from generation to generation within a family. So the so the cohesion of the family was so important. Without it, it could all be dissolved. Also, this autonomy that Israel had in moral and social and other terms, even if not fully political terms, from Roman Empire. And this all to lose and assimilate with Romans and their standards, this would be for Israel, a country in these terms, something disastrous. Moreover, this being to practice the fidelity towards your husband, wife, was something so fundamental, a picture of fidelity between God and human being. So nowadays, maybe we will be much more furious seeing a pedophilia. And I think that somebody who uses sexually children put in the place of this woman would maybe evoke in you anger, and maybe you would like to take a small stone and put it towards the woman. Maybe, because we would say, this is disastrous, this is incredibly wrong, and so on. But the question is not about wronginess, which is of a deed, because this is changing our evaluation of what is morally wrong, morally good, or maybe legally wrong and good, is something which just changes over time. This is much more about the question, who are you to do such a thing, and how can this change something, your behavior? So Jewish society hoped that through introducing of such severe penalty, they will extradite this cheating on your husband or wife. But this was not the case, because we are in the beginning of the century and still it is happening, and the sin, this was not helpful at all. And the focus is so much more about not only to realizing that maybe you are now safe, you are not legally persecuted, in this sense legally, because nobody is throwing on you stones, even if you done something wrong. But this can change, and through this speech, Jesus is making people feel, I could be in the same place if somebody would, let's say, financially defraud or something like that, on commitments that banks are doing during the crisis, would say this is illegal. This can change over time. Or somebody who is possessing slaves or maltreating animals. And people are realizing, okay, this is my fortune. I'm not in this place of the woman, but I could be. And maybe who am I to decide about how heavy is this sin of the woman? And the second point, which is so important in the gospel, is what can help the woman to do in another way, if this is really something which she does not want to do. Does it help her to be stoned to recover? No, she will be dead. But the hand given to her by Jesus and her putting to the feet this help and this loving sight that she is seeing, this loving face of Jesus, and her support through this, I trust you, you will not sin anymore, because he's saying, let go and don't sin anymore. It's something which can help, and we have to have this faith, I think. Thank you.